Hey guys, welcome to episode 33 of the Doctor and the Dork. This is Frank here with our co-hostess Olivia.
Hello everybody.
How's it going, guys?
Crickets.
Crickets.
Oh, you can't lean on the table like that.
Oh, whoops. I just shook the camera. So sorry we missed a week, guys. There was, I don't know, we just weren't feeling it last week, and we kind of agreed, if we don't feel like doing the pod, then we don't do it.
Sorry guys, I mean, until you guys are really bringing in the advertisers, maybe then we're making the big bucks will be every week, no matter what. But
this is really for fun and convenience, and we do it because we like it. But yeah, I mean, that definitely gave us plenty to talk about in our kind of our week in review or weeks in review.
You look so tired.
I feel so tired.
Okay.
I feel like I could take a nap right now, honestly. You could probably hear it in my voice. I don't feel as upbeat as normal.
You don't got the pep in your step?
No,
Me
definitely...
neither. Honestly, if we didn't skip last week, I would have said, let's skip this week. But it felt wrong taking 2 weeks off. So here we are. Sorry, guys, in advance for the podcast. You know what else? If you're an actual podcast listener, I think it's harder to tell. But I think our video listeners might be able to tell more.
Yeah, they'll probably be able to see how exhausted we look. But you know what? That could be a post-gym thing. I mean, it is also 8 p.m., and we usually never do our pod at 8 p.m.
That's true.
Or it's, what, 8:30?
So by the time we get done, it'll be past 9.
Yeah, so, yeah, we usually don't go this late. Last time we did one this late, it was like 10 episodes ago.
Anywho, so this week we had a big snowstorm. How about you guys? How much snow do you think we got?
I would say over a foot. I would say probably 14 inches.
How many times did you shovel?
3.
How many times do you wish you had the snowblower working before you shoveled?
1.
To be fair, the quad worked for most of it.
Yeah. Well, the quad worked the first 2 times.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
I would argue the first time and a half, because the sidewalks, the first time I shoveled them, I would have preferred you had the snowblower.
Valid. I'll give you that. Yeah, no, so, we used the mix of the quad with the plow. We had the snowblower going. Olivia ran out and got some gas for that, because God knows I probably had 2-year-old gas sitting in there. There was just a lot of snow that I wasn't expecting.
We did a good job as a team. Frankie handled the, driveway, street, and sidewalks, and I did the front, walkways and porches, and then followed up any trim work that needed to be done.
Yeah, so I think we cleaned up nicely. Considering the town doesn't do the park entrance for us.
Yeah.
That's
unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but you know what? We get it done all the same.
Yeah. Do you wish you could have gone outside and made a snowman?
No, not really.
You're not a big snowman guy?
No. I also, I don't think that was very good snowman snow.
Really? I thought it was good because it started sticking to my shovel this morning.
You know what? Maybe today.
Yeah.
But yesterday it was so light.
Fluffy.
Yeah, it was so light and fluffy. Though after the snowplows got done and just packed it in, that was a whole other thing. I mean, it was just a mess.
Fair enough.
But yeah, hope you guys didn't get snowed in. I mean, I bet a lot of people were still snowed in today.
Oh, probably. So. I also bet a lot of people had heart attacks today from shoveling. I think one underestimates, especially those who live in the South, just how much physical labor it takes to pick up snow with the shovel. It's
certainly a marker of how good a shape you're in if you can shovel all day.
It's an all-body exercise.
It's one thing to go snow blowing.
Yeah.
Because if you have a good snow blower, then it's not bad. But ours, I didn't have chains on the tires. So it's just stalled out, spinning, the wheels not going anywhere. So I'm sitting there shaking it back and forth, trying to get it to go forward. And I'm like, oh God, I forgot. I was like, I wish I had put the chains on, but it is what it is.
Next, I thought I'd bring up our nice nature walk at Jeffrita. We went out and Frankie went out and ice skated across the pond lake area. I was too nervous at first, but eventually I went out there with him.
So guys, Jeffrita Park in Meriden, Connecticut, up by Hunter's Golf Course there, heading up towards Middletown next to the quarry. They have a nice, it's a reservoir. And normally, the edges of it get frozen over, but the weather was so cold that a good chunk... I got out to about halfway, I'd say.
Yeah.
I got about almost...
I thought for sure you were going to sing, because you know what else? A lot of the ice was Usually when ice becomes icy, it gets that kind of frosty color to it. Well, there's a lot of ice at Jeffrita that was still clear all the way through, and I was like, that doesn't make me feel very good.
Yeah, there was, so I went out there. I definitely probably could have fallen in, but you know what?
I was waiting for you to fall in, and I don't know what I was going to do besides probably laugh.
Yeah, and let me
I wouldn't even
die.
be able to hide it.
Yeah, you're going to let me die out there alone. But, no, that was a lot of fun getting to go skate around on the ice in my boots.
Yeah.
Because I can't ice skate, so, that's...
the most you got in you.
Yeah, real life problems right there.
Next...
You want to tell them about date night?
Yeah, so Frankie and I had a date night on either Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday.
Pretty sure it was Saturday.
It'd been a while since we went out and had a nice dinner, so we went to a place called Butchers and Bakers. And I will start off by saying I really liked the atmosphere in there. I think I actually took a picture of it while we were waiting so that you guys could see what it looks like in there. But in terms of the service was good, the atmosphere was good. In terms of the actual food, it was a little disappointing. It wasn't bad per se. I just felt for the quality of the service and the atmosphere, I expected like an 11 out of 10 dinner.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Maybe it was just what I ordered, but I probably should have just asked them, like, hey, what do you guys prefer?
Yeah.
Like, that's usually my go-to move with, like, new restaurants I haven't been to.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no, I can pick what I want.
Fair.
And the butcher's board sounded so good, and it's just like a giant board of meat and veggies. And I got it, and I don't know. I didn't love it.
I got fish and chips.
It was good.
I was really in the mood for fish that night, so
Yeah.
I saw they had that on there. And for once, I don't think I've ever said this about any fried food in my life, but I just felt like there was too much coating on the fish.
Really? Too much,
crunchy stuff.
I wouldn't even call it breading, but, I guess breading?
Breading. Usually it's more of like a flour mixture, but I felt like they use like more of like a fried chicken breading type of outside.
Yeah, like Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, like the country fried chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that was a good time nonetheless. And there was a beautiful moon out that night, guys. Did you see the moon?
Oh yeah, Saturday night. It wasn't even full, was it?
It was like 90% full.
Yeah, I think it was like 90% of there. I think it was waxing.
I tried to take a picture of it for you guys, but it wasn't happening. Also, that night on the drive home, there was standstill traffic, and it was just such a classic Connecticut move where, like, 1 second people are going from a range of 55 to 90, and the next second we're going 0 miles an hour, and it's a good reflex test to see if everyone's paying attention.
Yeah, that's Hartford for you.
There was a good situation that if you were texting on your phone in that exact moment, you would have been done, and so would have the 5 other people.
Yeah, no, you would have had a pile up on your hands.
Like, I know you usually think you're texting and you look up every couple of seconds and you'll be fine. That was a great example of why that theory doesn't work.
Oh, man.
He's out, guys. Out for the count. Get him a
I'm
pillow.
feeling it tonight, guys. I tell you.
All right, you can take over the next topic.
I can take over? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Sorry, guys. We got a lot in our week in review.
So,
it's 2 weeks in review.
I won't say his name just because, I don't want his house getting robbed or anything. But we had a good friend of ours leave for basic. So, I won't say I'm proud of him. Not till he comes back. So.
Let me tell you, thank gosh he went to basic.
Thank God. I was going to be real salty. I was going to be real salty if he ended up as one of those guys for the rest of his life. He'd have been, well, I almost went to basic. But he went, guys. He went. And I haven't heard anything from him. So,
do you think he's doing okay?
It's probably going horrible. That's, he's probably like, why did I do this? This is stupid.
I'd be like, stupid Frankie having me sign up for this blog.
That's literally everyone's thoughts going through basic is like, why did I sign up for this?
But then you come out and you can be that person that's like, oh, wait till you go to basic.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It gives you bragging rights over people who haven't been, but anyone who's gone to basic will tell you, oh my God, like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's just
classic.
Shut up and do what you're told. But
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he'll come out all the better for it, but I'm happy he's going finally. He only waited a year and a half.
I got the yawns now.
Yeah, I know. Contagious.
Yeah. No, I'm glad for him that he finally got to go and get it over with. Next.
Ooh, I was going to do our camera because I don't know about that email.
Yeah,
you
go
read
ahead.
It.
Yep.
So we got a new camera, guys. I don't even know what brand it is.
Logitech.
Oh, Logitech. What other?
CS29-ish, something like that. I don't know. We're not using it right now, so we'll let you guys know.
Yeah, we're on the cell phone again. Olivia's computer can't run it, which means my computer definitely can't run it. We tried it at like 20 frames per second, and then we also tried it at like, was it exposure oriented rather than frames oriented? I tried to dial this down so low. I think we had it on like 360 frames. Like it was some 90s style graphics.
So the trusty iPhone it is.
Yeah.
But maybe next episode we'll figure out how to get it to work.
Yeah, we just got to get a better computer for it. So I think I have a nicer work computer. I think I'm going to go get that set up, and because my trusty baby over there is fading quick. My Ethernet port doesn't work anymore.
Wow.
So
That can't
like
be
you can
good.
just plug Ethernet things in and it's just like
Doesn't
nothing's
connect.
there. So I don't know if the connector's shot or if my computer's just actually jacked up, but
Fair enough. All right, 2 more things for you guys before we move on to the segments that you're all actually listening to the Doctor and the Dork for. Number 1, I wanted to give a shout out to Arnold for sending us our 4th-ish email. We appreciated. He gave us some feedback on the lighting, which I didn't really do anything about because I thought we were going to have a new camera this episode. He also asked if Frankie wanted some beer stuff, which I answered on behalf of Frankie and said no, he has somebody to brew it for him, so I think he's good with that system.
yeah, I'm set. Thank you, Arnold.
And then encouraged me to tell my grandma to get her corona shot, which she's working on.
Yeah, is she?
Yeah, I think so. And last but not least, some of you guys, I know, you're out there. There's 1 or 2 listeners who are like, I listen to the Doctor and the Dork purely for their book review each month. And you're like, it's been probably 3 months since the last time
You know
we've
what?
done a
I'd
book
say
review.
that's probably Jen. She definitely keeps tabs on that, and then, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I can't even tell you at what point we said we were going to start this Lovecraft County.
Yeah,
one.
we just didn't get through it. I picked up Lord of the Rings. I'm like perpetually 80% done with the book. And
I was like went with the theory that I was just going to read at least a few pages every night and eventually I'd progress. But it's one of those books where like you got to read it in huge chunks because you're never going to remember the little details that you needed to if you just read it a little bit at a time.
It's only 300 pages.
It should take us 3 to 4 days at most.
Yeah. And we've just dragged our feet. We'll buckle down and get this done, guys.
Yeah, I think in the next couple of weeks. Plan for episode 35. So it's not too late. If you would like to read with us, go get the book, Lovecraft County.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it's by, but you guys can figure that out. You're smart people.
Lovecraft County, they got a TV show, so the book is actually pretty good. I read a few pages and then stopped reading it, but...
Yeah. No, it's not a hard read. It's not a bad read.
It seems genuine.
We're just lazy readers.
You know, if I didn't get pulled back into Lord of the Rings, which truthfully, in the time that we said
we
were
didn't
going to...
talk about that. I watched, for the first time, Lord of the Rings.
The first
Do I
and
get the
second
best
movie.
girlfriend award? I do.
She hasn't finished the
second movie.
trilogy yet.
I mean, let's be real. I did 66% so far.
That's still failing.
I don't know. Some people say 65% passing, so...
Oh, man.
Anywho, would you like to go first this week, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first, because
Okay.
I got a quick segment this week, guys.
Great.
So, it's that time of the month. It's the beginning of the month. So, we have the free games for PS Plus. I didn't bother looking at the PS5 free games, because I don't care, guys. I'm sorry. It's not me. I don't have a PS5.
Why don't you write into doctorandork@gmail.com and tell Frankie's got a rotten attitude because he's mad he couldn't get a PS5.
You guys are right. I'm salty. I'm real salty I couldn't get a PS5.
Want some pepper with that salt? Man,
Yeah, I
that's
do.
a good one. I'm going to start using that.
So there's still a shortage of PS5s. People still can't get a hold of them. Apparently, scalpers didn't do as much damage as I realized. They only managed to scalp roughly 10 to 15% of the total stock.
Well, that's way less than I would have thought. I think that's a false number, but we'll believe it.
But that's the only number that I've been able to find on like how many were scalped.
Fair.
But anyway, free games for the PS4 for this month. We have Control Ultimate Edition. Basically, you work at some Control headquarters, controlling I have no idea what. and it's got 2 DLCs that you get with it. I've never played the game. I've never heard of the game.
Sounds kind of fun.
But I'm going to download it because it's the great price of freemium for something I pay for anyway. So the second game is also another game I've never heard of.
Concrete Genie?
Yeah, wow. Concrete Genie.
That doesn't sound fun.
No, it doesn't sound very promising.
Let me pause you
but I'm going to try it.
Let me ask our listeners a question. Does salt really degrade concrete but not tar? Because Frankie wouldn't let me put salt on the sidewalk leading out of the back porch because he said it was going to degrade the concrete.
I'm not even kidding. Salt will literally eat away at concrete. Salt eats metal.
Why don't you write into doctorandork@gmail.com and let me know if that's true.
Literally, salt rusts the entire underside of your car.
What does that have to do with the sidewalk?
It literally eats away at concrete.
Literally, I don't know if I believe
it doesn't eat away at asphalt.
But you know who I will believe? A random listener who writes in.
Oh my gosh. Jen, convince her, please. You're the smart one here, right?
All right, sorry. Please continue.
All right, moving on, guys. Adobe Flash has officially, for lack of a better word, crapped the bed. They said they were discontinuing it as of December 31st, 2020. They announced this back in 2017. I knew it was coming. You guys knew it was coming. Olivia didn't know it was coming because she doesn't listen to me.
I did because you told us on the podcast.
Yeah, she still doesn't know.
I knew.
She would have forgotten. But anyway, so I figured, kind of like Internet Explorer, guys, they don't put patches out for Internet Explorer, but it still works. I mean, it's horrible. Nobody uses it, but it still works. I figured they do the same thing with Adobe Flash. They just leave it out there and deteriorate slowly. No, they nixed it completely as of January 12th. All websites shut it down. Nobody runs it now.
Wow. So what are people supposed to do? Come on, Dork, tell us.
Nothing. You're not supposed to do anything.
You're
supposed
liar.
to get HTML5.
You got an answer written down there.
So my work, guys, is unfortunately tech-based. And after doing some investigative work today, because I ran into an issue where some of the software we run operates on Adobe Flash.
What a tragedy.
My company has no fix for this. But I did find out through talking to some other techs and some online blogs that you guys can download the web browser Opera and go through their settings. Anyway, you can go through their settings and enable Flash, and you can still run Flash-based applications and sites and things of that nature. It's kind of hokey. There's a lot of settings you have to go through. I'm not even going to get into it because I literally just followed someone's online instructions. So, but you can get the web browser Opera, guys, and still use Adobe Flash. Yeah, that's the best I got for that. All right, next. I'm kind of all over the place with my next 3 things. One of them is, I'll keep with the games. GameStop.
GameStop. How many you made millions this past 2 weeks?
How many are you still holding? Come on.
How many you lost millions this week?
Actually, I was seeing a guy who was up from last week. He was at 1.1 million, or was at 1.4 million, and he was down to 300,000 this week.
He wishes he sold it.
Bet he wishes he sold. Guys, GameStop has been a wild trip. Olivia and I have been watching it since December when it was like in the 90s. And
it's back in the 90s now.
Yeah, it's back in the 90s. And a lot of people think it's going to go back up. A lot of people say it's not. I know several hedge funds, specifically one Melvin Capital, lost 53% of their capital funding.
Wow, that's why you don't short stocks, guys.
Yeah, so a lot of hedge funds lost a whole lot of money.
Which is a little funny.
It's hilarious. They had Wall Street had no problem bankrupting us in 2008. If you guys haven't heard
about this story, I highly recommend just reading a 30-second article about it and then go and looking at all the memes about it because they're classic.
Get onto Reddit. All right, go to Wall Street Bets on Reddit. These guys are on another level. It's hilarious.
You know what else? This is slightly unrelated, but do you think people outside of our generation appreciate memes at all, or do you think they just look at them and are like, "What is this?
No,
ridiculous."
We've talked about this. In the future, memes are for sure going to be hieroglyphs.
Yeah, that's
Think
true.
about it. Egyptians, all they had were like little paintings of dude like worshiping the suns. Yeah. And now we have like equally
I've
dumb
read
memes.
that memes are our generation's coping mechanism of taking terrible situations and just making them laughable.
Yeah, I could believe that. But yeah, guys, look into GameStop. I won't even fully go into it because there's just a lot to unpack there. Hedge funds shorting a stock, wrecking a company, a bunch of retail investors, which are just us, guys, us broke people, just piling into one stock and just driving it through the roof.
I just had a great idea, which is slightly unrelated to everything you're saying. But you know what we should do that'd be wicked fun, and everybody should really do this? We should make a collection. We'll do it for 2021, but it'd be cool if we even kept doing it for future years, where every month we take our favorite meme and we print it out or store it somewhere, and then at the end of the year we look back at the best memes. And it'd be great because over the course of 10 years you could look and you would remember so vividly a certain event based on one meme. You know what I mean?
You know, I'd be willing to do that.
We could definitely do a GameStop one for January.
Oh yeah.
It'd be hard picking which one, but maybe the Big Bird one.
Yeah, Big Bird sitting around.
In the Fortune 500.
We'll get that meme for you guys.
Yeah, we'll post it.
All right. So next two things. They're nice and quick. Jeff Bezos is stepping down as Amazon CEO.
Really?
To be their executive chairmanship, whatever that is.
Is that any different than CEO? No. Is anybody else going to be CEO?
So yeah, it's I don't know the guy's name. It was, I believe, Josh something or another. Okay. But needless to say, he's worked with Bezos for quite a long time. He was in charge of their cloud computing department. Basically, he's an IT guy.
Okay.
But from reading up on the article, he sounds very competent, very intelligent, and he apparently has a really strong handle on kind of the future of where the company wants to go. Okay. And that's more, I guess, into the IT realm rather than the shipping and handling realm.
Well, that's a good idea. I think Bezos is wise to know that he has made billions and that he might not be the best one to propel the company as far as it can into the future.
So he's stepping down as CEO, and I'm
sure he'll still have a ton of power.
I'm sure the executive chairmanship, whatever that is probably the head of the board or something. Yeah. He's not going far, but he's not the CEO anymore. So, but he spent 27 years there.
That's a long time. So, do you remember the infamous, this would have been a great meme to have back in the day of Jeff Bezos in his closet with his old school desk and his papers everywhere, and it's this is where Amazon started. Your dreams can take you anywhere. It's they ain't taking me to where Amazon went, but all right.
But yeah, so just an interesting thing because I can't wait to see what Amazon rolls out next. Next thing, guys, Comcast. I got beef with them. All right.
You don't even have Comcast.
I don't have Comcast, but you know what?
What?
I am sick of data caps. The rest of the modern world doesn't have to put up with this. They have fast internet and it's cheap. Does Cox have
data caps?
No.
Okay.
But you know what?
What?
I still pay an arm and a leg for decent internet.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. So here's the thing: is you go into other parts of the world, and it's not that bad. It's cheaper, and it's just as good as ours.
Allegedly.
So, not allegedly, So, especially when you go into a lot of Asian countries, like Japan or South Korea, they have fantastic internet. Fantastic.
All right.
So, anyway, they're basically Comcast's, I forget what they call it, but basically it's their cheapest internet. It's if you need, if you're a student. Kind of internet, you're broken.
The basic.
Yeah. So it was down at 15 megabytes and for a download speed and 2 megabytes for an upload speed.
So very slow is what he's saying.
By slow, I mean your dial-up from the 90s worked faster. All right.
AOL, maybe you should make a comeback. Now's your time to shine.
So I guess they got into a bunch of trouble last March. And last April, and they kicked it up to 25 megs and 3. So that's 25 download and 3 upload.
I feel like I had something similar to that on my old internet. I want to say it was like 30.
That's atrocious.
Actually, I think it was 60, and I really looked forward getting down to 30, and people are like, no, don't do it. But
you literally can't even do like an online class. Like if you require a camera, you'd just be that person that's it's glitching out all over the place.
So you turn off your video. You say, sorry guys, I got bad internet. And it's a great excuse to hit that off button on your video. God. And you just use a free mouse.
That's ridiculous.
Good way to make sure you don't get stuck watching Netflix and Hulu because you literally can't.
So I guess for the same price, they came under a lot of flack. And they're finally kicking up to 50 megs for a download and 5 for an upload, which I think is acceptable. But here's the funny thing is, they capped their data at 1.2 terabytes a month.
All right, tell me what it means in a really quick way, because you're running out of time.
1.2 terabytes comes up to like, it's 1,000 gigs. Well, 1,200 gigs.
All right, so are you saying that's enough or that's not a lot?
No, it's terrible.
Okay.
It's you could tear through that in like 3 days of some video gaming.
Okay.
Or downloading Netflix videos.
Sure.
All right, but you take it away, Doc.
Okie dokie. You guys made it through the dork segment, and you will be rewarded with the doctor segment.
Time to learn something.
So I've decided this week I am going to post links to all of the things I discussed because, science is ever evolving, and I think it's important that what I say is backed by the information that I found it in. So now you guys can go and you can look, maybe you want more details about something I say. You're going to now be able to do this. So there's that. First thing we're going to talk about is, of course, I still haven't came up with a catchy segment yet, but our Rona segment. So the first thing I want to point out is Johnson & Johnson has made their coronavirus vaccine data available. So the overall takeaways, what are we looking at? So they were found, of course, remember there's only a 1-shot dose, to be 66% effective against moderate to severe coronavirus and 88% effective, 85, I think it's 85%, can't read my handwriting, percent effective.
Hold up, guys.
Against, I think the pen died when I was doing the 8, because that's not how I make my 5s, but 85.
That looks like an 85.
85% effective against severe coronavirus.
Actually, it looks like an S, but
that's what
just
I mean.
8s.
So I would like to point out, some of you guys are going to be saying, well, Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines were like up in the 90s for their efficacy. And I'd like to point out that those ones were just for any symptomatic coronavirus, so not even just moderate to severe coronavirus. But we are a bit comparing apples to oranges. One is only 1 dose, where the other 2 are 2 doses. Also, some of them changed in terms of like at what point did they consider the end point. So for example, like some of them started collecting data 7 days after the vaccine, whereas another trial started collecting data 14 days after the vaccine. So you have to kind of look and see specifically how each trial conducted their study.
I'm surprised they're not a bit more transparent with that.
It's very difficult to find this information.
Did you?
Yeah, I haven't found the full text for Johnson & Johnson yet, but I did find it for Moderna and Pfizer's, but it took some decent searching.
Yeah, not like the first top 2 Googles.
No, absolutely not.
Links.
Nope. But
the real question is, did you have to go to page 2 of Google?
I think I did have to go to I might even have to go to page 3 of Google.
That's scary.
Yeah, I know. Anywho.
That's basically the dark web.
In this article that I was reading, about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, they kind of talked about all the different vaccines that have been approved so far. And they made a note about the adverse effects that I thought was very interesting. And that was what they're seeing is that patients that are younger are actually experiencing worse side effects than patients who are older. And their claim for this is that younger people have a stronger immune system, so that when they get the shot, their immune system is basically on overdrive and they have more kind of response in a poor way to the vaccine, where their immune system's like, oh no, panic attack, freak out, we got a foreign substance in the house. Whereas the elderly patients who maybe have a slightly weaker immune system are like, oh yeah, we should probably be on the lookout for that, but we'll just lay low until we're really needed.
Their immune system's like,
that's my analogy.
Yeah, we're dying anyway.
But isn't that really interesting?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it doesn't, only because I know a few people that were, I wouldn't say younger. I guess, what are you considering older? Like 40s and older?
65 and older.
60, okay.
Maybe even 55 if you wanted to go low.
Okay, I was going to say, because I definitely know some people that are 55 and under that have gotten
side
it,
effects.
but above 40.
Yeah.
And they got their second dose, and it basically kicked their ass.
Yeah, no, I've been hearing the second dose is pretty rough.
Yeah, I haven't heard good things. Not to scare you guys away. It does,
But if you're older, I was saying a lot of bad things about the elderly on the last episode in terms of side effects, but it turns out you guys might actually have a little bit of wiggle room there.
A bit of an edge on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next, I have a special thing for Frankie that he doesn't even know I have yet. So if you guys remember, every episode, for like 5 episodes in a row, when I would talk about Rona, Frankie would say, so have you heard anything about that Russian vaccine? Well, indeed, today I have. So this is for you. So what they're calling the Sputnik 5 vaccine, which is the Russian coronavirus vaccine, is 91.6% effective.
Does it also turn you into the Hulk?
I don't think so. I mean, granted, I did not also find the full study information for this
either. Are they just injecting people with vodka and calling it a day?
There's also 2 doses, though. And, yeah, so far they found it's 91.6% effective.
When did they roll that out?
I should have wrote down the exact date, but I want to say November, but I could just be making that up.
I'm shocked.
And there's a few other countries besides Russia that actually have been using it, which I wasn't aware of. But once again, I will post a full link to the article in our description so that you guys can read it yourself.
The funny thing is, I remember when, it was months ago we were talking about it.
Yeah.
And Putin was trying to, hand out his vaccine to everybody, and no one wanted to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Well,
nobody wanted Russia's vaccine. Hey, good on them for whipping one up.
Yeah, pretty
I'm not
quick.
convinced that it's not just vodka in a syringe, but you know.
It'd be very interesting to see the full study results and see I tried to find what company is making it. I don't know if that's a naive question to ask.
I mean,
probably, Russia Science Company, is that who's making it?
Probably the government.
Fascinating.
The government runs everything over there. It's all Russian.
Anyways, my last thing for you guys is an interesting drug recall. So I actually saw this on LinkedIn that one of my professors had posted, and it's a classic mislabeling situation. So a lot of times maybe there's all sorts of mislabeling. Maybe a drug gets packaged and they accidentally labeled it 5 milligrams, but it was supposed to be 10 milligrams. Maybe there was a typo somewhere in there in the fine print. But this one was actually a pretty big packaging error. So what happened was there's this drug. The brand name's Nimbex. The generic is Cisatricarium. And
say that. That's a made-up.
Cisatricarium.
Saskatchewan?
Yes, Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
And what this is a paralyzing agent. So basically, if you're going under anesthesia or if you need to be intubated for something, they'll give this to you so that your muscles can't kind of naturally reflex.
That's a made-up word.
Anywho, so that's what the drug is and what it does. So what happened was these boxes of, I'm going to just say Nimbex because I can pronounce that a lot easier. What happens is these come in a big box, and within the box there's 10 different vials, and then if you take the vial out, it's labeled again with the drug name, and then obviously inside the vial is the drug. So what's happening was that the box said Nimbex, and the vials actually contained Nimbex, but on the actual vials themselves, they were labeled phenylephrine. I don't know why I can't pronounce things today.
Phenylephrine?
Phenylephrine.
Is that close to fentanyl? What is that?
No, good guess though. So this was used most commonly in patients who have sepsis, so a really bad infection when their blood pressure starts to tank.
So
you would give you would give phenylephrine to increase the patient's blood pressure and help them start recirculating their blood and such again.
It wasn't even close to the same drug.
No, so very dangerous. So,
but here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Wait. So the outside labeling was correct, and the drug was matching the outside labeling, but the vial labeling was wrong.
Correct. Now, the issue is, like, I know in my pharmacy sometimes when you're taking stuff out, especially because this one needs to be stored in the fridge, you often take out the vials from the cardboard box and you just stick the vials in the fridge and you throw away the cardboard box.
Yeah.
So now you have phenylephrine with an actual paralyzing agent inside of it. So if somebody goes and takes that and they're like, oh, I'm going to whip up a quick bag of phenylephrine to give to this septic patient who I need to increase their blood pressure, you give that and suddenly they're literally paralyzed. They just went from a bad situation to like the worst situation possible.
So who found this out?
I guess some hospital had reported it to, I don't know, I'm guessing the FDA, that when they opened the carton, they saw that it was mislabeled in there. And what I'm sure happened at first is I'm sure the pharmacist like looked at the tech or whoever who brought it over and was like, are you sure you just didn't do something weird with the box and put a bunch of the wrong drug in there? And then I'm sure they went and opened the next box and they were like, oh shoot, no, they came that way. Anyway, so huge recall on that, but very interesting. I'm going to post a link to that too, and maybe even a picture so you guys can get a better description of what I'm talking about. But fascinating, right? Terrifying.
I guess I'm not surprised when you have a giant automation system.
Yeah.
It's like eventually I'd expect mistakes to be made.
Yeah.
But, it's crazy when they go through. I would expect
at some point quality control would have
of a similar drug.
Yeah.
But those aren't even similar drugs.
The only good thing about this in terms of like the amount of checkpoints is that on any paralyzing agent on the actual cap of the vial, there's it says warning paralyzing agent, and the cap still said it on there even though the like paper label around it was not labeled for a paralyzing agent. So when a nurse or pharmacist went to go and flip it open and make the bag, they would have noticed that it said that. Hopefully.
Allegedly.
But that's all I have. I know I keep saying this. I think next week I'm going to do a cancer study. I was going to do one this week, but I just didn't have the brain capacity to process it and digest it for you guys.
I feel you. Hopefully next week I have a few more brain cells to spare here.
But that's it. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe. Why don't you go check us out on Instagram at Doctor and Dork, at doctorandork@gmail.com. Go check us out on Instagram at Doctor.
Oh, she looks at me, guys, like I have a clue here. I get it from her.
Go to email us at doctorandork@gmail.com. Do you want to be a sponsor with us? Sure. Why don't you email us? doctorandork@gmail.com.
Hell, send us some shirts. We'll wear them every episode.
Sure will, absolutely.
Or if you got me like a giant foam hat with your company logo, I'd wear that. Maybe a foam finger.
You got us a sweatband to wear around my head. I'd probably wear one of them if the price was right.
Yeah, right.
So $1 or more, probably.
Free. I'd wear free.
Anyways, guys, that's all we got. You got any closing remarks?
No, I think that's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you at episode 34.
Later, Gators.
Bye.